The guillotine. The most talked about guillotine around the world. I love that Dustin Poirier went for the guillotine 3 times because, so this was BSD's downfall, was fighting Dustin here. This is where Dustin thrives, is right here. If you fight Dustin here, the likely chances of you losing go up significantly high because, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel, and we have another Void breakdown video for you guys. The last 2 Void breakdown videos had so much love, and the producer said, let's do Dustin Poirier and BSD. Absolute amazing fight for Dustin Poirier and BSD. Like I said, this was the second time I watched this gentleman fight. So we're gonna break it down this action. We got still photos. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to know when we go live. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this little precursor, now I only seen BSD fight twice. Once against Dustin Poirier and the one I broke down. Now the biggest thing is Dustin Poirier, he thrives in the boxing realm and his kicks, and he did about 3 guillotines because BSD is not afraid to cross the distance and get in the void. He always walks to the edge of the void and gets into his striking range. He fights inside the void. Now that was his downfall to this fight, because that's when he got caught with the uppercut, not coming in with his hands. Now, Dustin Poirier, one of the things he does very well is he understands his distance, and he sees that BSD is coming across the distance into the void, throwing this beautiful body shot. And Dustin, look where his eyes are at. His eyes are looking at his target, and he's covering his face. He's got the high guard in the left hand, and he's going here, which it does expose his body, but Dustin's willing to take that shot in order to get another shot. Like, Dustin thrives when the chaos happens because that's when he lands most of the shot. You look when he had his exchange with Conor McGregor. You look when he had his exchange with Eddie Alvarez. I mean, Justin Gaethje. Sometimes he does come on the wrong end of the battle of the exchange, but typically Dustin ends up putting people's lights out, and that's how he did it to BSD. But you see where BSD and Dustin are, they're super close. So he is inside the void. I would say the void's probably right here, but he's inside throwing this body shot. Good technique. He's looking at his shot. He's trying to aim and get it. He misses. It's almost like a sachet where you go like this. He misses. And Dustin's in the position where if he wants to counterattack, Dustin can counterattack, because as Dustin's going away, this shot's going to come all the way through. He will be behind the shoulder. And you see Dustin do it all the time. He's so good about managing that distance in that boxing range that he will be able to counter after that person misses. Not in this one, the next still. But beautiful. It was a beautiful fight because BSD doesn't waste any time. He goes to the edge of it and he starts throwing body kicks and he starts to grapple. Now, I was worried about Dustin in a grappling exchange because typically if you go back and watch his fights, Habib, Charles Oliveira are the recent ones where he will usually get in trouble when people get his back in the championship fights. But right here, the guillotine. The most talked about guillotine around the world. Now, this guillotine is pretty damn good. Look where he has it. It's not an arming guillotine. He has this part underneath, and he has a high elbow. The high elbow, you lash it on his back, and it's pretty much game over. Now, the only thing that he could probably do to make it even work better is change the angle of his hips. Change the angle of his hips, that way he gets a nice, torque on the neck and the blood choke. But BSD does a good job. He keeps his head good. He's got gills, as we call it in jiu-jitsu. Is people have gills, you can lock them in a guillotine and they just don't go to sleep. They just breathe whatever they can breathe in that situation. And BSD does a good job of getting the head, getting his hand on Dustin's head, because he wants to push Dustin's head down, which is going to alleviate Dustin staying on top of his head to try to choke him. But this, I love that Dustin Poirier went for the guillotine 3 times because you're threatening him. He shot a bad shot, gave him his neck, you threaten him. That way it's going to make him second guess his next shot and another shot. And eventually him fighting out of this guillotine takes energy away from BSD. It sucks energy out of his gas tank. Even though he didn't submit him, he's still draining his energy because they exchange. BSD shot. Dustin jumped up, grabbed the guillotine, sat down on it. I believe this is the 3rd one because he has the high guard, the high elbow up. But these are slowly draining his energy each time. and Dustin's as well. I mean, it's a battle of wills and who's going to give up and who's in better condition. But this is another one of the 3 guillotines that Dustin Poirier jumped. I'm not mad at Dustin for doing that. I actually am happy he did that because he's trying to capitalize on somebody making a mistake, which was a bad shot. And here is where Dustin typically gets in trouble when he gets in fights. When people get his back, he's had a little trouble, but he's doing a great job. Right now, BSD only has 1 hook in, which is this one right here. Dustin is addressing that hook. Now, this hook should be coming in for BSD to lock down this leg, so Dustin can't turn his hips this way, right? Dustin needs to turn his hip this way. If he does that, then he's almost out of the choke. I believe this one is Dustin's hand because of tattoos. And he's fighting the top hand, which the bottom hand is the one that's going to choke him, but he needs a top hand in order to choke him. So that's why I love grappling so much, because you have to have some type of form of curriculum to know what the hell you're doing. If you do not, you will make the wrong mistake. You will get caught in a body triangle or caught with the hooks, and you will get submitted. You know, on the feet, it's all about managing the distance in the void and timing and, you know, catching your opponent slipping and knocking them out. On the ground, grappling, you have to have some type of form curriculum in order to be able to get the hell out. If you don't, you typically get submitted. And if the person's a better grappler than you, then you typically get submitted. So, but he's doing the right thing. He's fighting the right battles here, fighting this leg, keeping that hook out so he can turn his hip out of that and then keep on going and shoot in a grappling scramble, which typically that's how the person gets out of this. But he's keeping close to his body. But this is the only part in the fight that I always worry when Dustin fights, is when he gets back taken. Now, here's one thing that I really love about BSD, what he did very well, is that he kept the fight in the clinch. Beautiful Muay Thai knee. Look at, I like an athlete who can fight in all the realms, right? And BSD displayed that to me in his fight against Dustin. And he actually hurt Dustin a couple times. It looked like he hurt Dustin a couple times in the clinch. But look at this beautiful knee. He's got a beautiful Muay Thai plum. Beautiful knee up the middle. Dustin eats it. Look at the tippy toes. And look, even though Dustin had a guard, he went outside of his guard and landed that beautiful knee. See, when you cross the void and you get into a fight and you're well-rounded and you can fight in all rounds, this is how all the fights should happen, my opinion. You start here, you're trying to find how you're gonna cross the void. Once you cross it, you stay in there. You grapple, you clinch, you do a Muay Thai, you know, do jiu-jitsu, wrestling, sambo, whatever it may be. The only time, in my opinion, when the void should be recreated is because he can't handle the clinch, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, the striking. He runs out of it. A guy like Michael Page, he'll sit out the edge of the void and he'll go, right hand, jump all the way back out. It's like right hand, move, uppercut, 2-3, clinch, knee. He passed out, body kick, 2-3 again, shot, double leg. That's why BSD stays inside the void. He stays on top of his opponent, and that's why we got a clinch game out of him, where typically when Dustin fights his opponents, he stays outside of it, he boom, 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 then he crosses the distance with his hands, and Dustin will stay at his striking range. He won't, typically 9 out of 10 times, he won't go. When he knocked out Conor McGregor the second, the third time, when he got in his fights with Eddie Alvarez, or even with Justin Gaethje, he would always stay out there and strike instead of closing the distance and not get in a striking exchange. Because right here, when you're in the clinch, you're safe. Dustin has 2 options. He either has to block or he can throw punches. But if he doesn't block, he's gonna get hit with that knee, or he's gonna get hit in the body. So Dustin has to respect the clinch because his posture is broken. That's why I love the clinch. The clinch is such an unutilized thing in mixed martial arts because a lot of people don't really know how to fight inside the clinch. But here's a beautiful still picture of BSD on this beautiful Muay Thai clinch, lands this knee. Dustin has to protect. Dustin's got to get his head back, get his posture back, and you're going to see Dustin look to create the void again so he get back to his striking, because that's where he wants to be and that's where he thrives in all of his fights. To where BSD wants to shut that shit down, so he walks to the edge of the void stiff, and then he tries to cross it, either with a shot or his punches. But beautiful picture. I love the clinch game. It's one to utilize things. And there's only a couple guys who actually utilize it very well. Charles Oliveira is one of them. Anderson Silva was one of them. I am one of them. You know, it's I've utilized it against John Dotson, Adriano, the second and third fight. I mean, the list just goes on. Guys who actually utilize the clinch game and shut down people, because if they can't find a clinch, you just put them in a clinch and they're fucked. A beautiful picture from BSD. I like BSD. And here's BSD getting off on Dustin. Now, the hardest thing about this is that BSD's here. He's landing a good shot. Look where Dustin is. Dustin's eyes are down here. He's not looking. He's covering. BSD has his eyes on Dustin. Now, if I was BSD, this is when you clinch Dustin. You don't stay out here, because now Dustin knows by feel. He's looking down. He sees Dustin's feet. He sees BSD's feet. He knows when he's looking down. He sees BSD's right here in front of me. I'm going to throw a looping right hand, right? But if BSD kept on closing this distance, put Dustin Poirier back in a clinch, Dustin can't throw these looping or overhand rights. He can't catch him, right? So this was BSD's downfall, was fighting Dustin here, where Dustin can shell up and throw overhand right or overhand left, whatever you want. Here, you typically either want to go to this side. Well, not this side, because that's the cage. You want to, when he's this square against the cage, you either want to be out here at the edge of the void and pot, make a miss, to come back with a hard cross and a left hand, or you shut it down, grab the clinch game, start kneeing him, take it down past guard. And I believe BSD, he might have taken, you know, Dustin Poirier down, and Dustin Poirier went for another guillotine. Once again, I'm working off steals and my memory from this fight. But once again, Dustin's covering. BSD has crossed the void. He's on the assault of Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier is defending these shots from BSD. So like I said, you know, when you get in these gunfights, it's whoever lands the better shot and has the better chin, essentially, right? Or grappling, you have to be the better grappler. You can get out, like, yeah, I don't want to go on more about that. But here's BSD, beautiful still of him hitting Dustin Poirier as Dustin Poirier is blocking. Another DT attempt. Once again, BSD coming in. This is round 2. Coming in, horrible shot, right? And you're going to see Dustin Poirier once again jump on that guillotine, trying to land it and submit him, but he doesn't. BSD's a tough son of a gun. He's got gills, and he's able to do it. But boom, this is the shot right here where Dustin Poirier, he's hit so many people so many times with this signature right hand hook from southpaw, or he might be switching, but his position is at southpaw. Beautiful left hook. What you want to do is land at a 90-degree angle across the jaw. That's what drops BSD, because BSD, when each time he came to the edge of the void, he would always be hesitant, and he'll cross. They'll get a grappling or a Muay Thai exchange. Then Dustin will create that distance to void to land this beautiful check right hook, not check right hook, but a right hook. Lands perfectly. Look at Dustin. His eyes are looking at the shot. Beautiful lands on that man's beard. And that was the shot that put BSD down. This is where Dustin thrives, is right here. If you fight Dustin here, the likely chances of you losing go up significantly high. If you fight Dustin here and on his back, your chances significantly go up higher, because he doesn't thrive as well there. This is where Dustin is most dangerous, is right here, catching you outside the void or inside of it, where he can catch you with that signature beautiful right hook. And this is the hook that ended it for BSD. He drops BSD, passes guard, lands a big kaboom when BSD was on his back, and that's all she wrote, and he couldn't get up. And there it is right there. Now, he didn't pass guard fully, but BSD is open. That right hand rocked him, and as he came by, he hit him with that right hand, and that's all that energy. So sometimes you have to pick and choose. Do you want to follow up with a punch, or do you want to follow up with a guard pass? I think what Dustin decided to do is follow up with a big punch. All that energy goes down into his head right here, and the canvas absorbs all that energy, but that energy has to go through BSD's head into the mat, and it's a nasty shot. And you can see if he wanted to pass guard, he's almost in side control, a half guard. His guard's open. He's splayed open like he's about to give birth because that right hand rocked him so bad that he's not even looking to get guard back. And he finished him right here. So beautiful right hand from Dustin Poirier. Follows it up with a beautiful right hand on the ground. And that is what knocks out BSD, giving Dustin Poirier the TKO in round 2 against BSD. And once again, now what's next for Dustin Poirier? So here's the biggest thing. Dustin has always been right there for a world title fight. He's been an interim champion, but he's never been the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Now, Islam loved what he did in that fight, and he says, I love impressive fight, Dustin. And Dustin said, hey, I'll be ready to go. I took no damage whatsoever against BSD, so I'll be down to turn around and fight Islam. Now, if he fights Islam, that's gonna be a harder fight because Islam does a good job, and I believe he is a better grappler. No, excuse me, not a better grappler. I believe he's a better striking artist than Khabib. But the thing that Islam has in his back pocket is he is a very good grappler. So how does that fight play out? I'm not sure, because they're both very, very, very good at what they do. But I do believe this: if Dustin Poirier does fight Islam Makhachev, if he loses, I could see him say, hey guys, I'm done. I put a lot in the sport. I've got my opportunity to fight for the belt multiple times, became an interim champion, and I don't want to put my body through these camps, through the wear and tear, etc. Or if he does win, I think we'll see him win. If he wins, I think you'll see him defend the belt maybe once or twice and then right off in the sunset. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of the Void video. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the Michael Vinnen Page versus Kevin Holland. We will see how this one does. If this one does well, then we will go ahead and do that. It's up to the producer because I just like making content, and he is the one who likes to decide which one's going to hit and do very well. So if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to know when you go live, and let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed watching Dustin Poirier go for 3 guillotine chokes, and what did you think when he did that? So we out, boys. Cheer. Well, damn.